Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use a Cymbal magnetic clasp with your bead weaving. I'm actually going to be showing you how to attach it to a peyote stitch, but I do want to let you know that this could work for a lot of other things, which is why I've brought out more than just the magnetic clasps. So the cymbals are these metal components here that you can see, and you can use them either as pendants, or I brought out one of each just to show you the different varieties and styles of these little endings here. So you can see that some of them have 4 prongs, some have 2, some have 3. There's a lot of different ways that you can use these. You can use it to end loom, you can end peyote, lots of different things. So these also over here are kind of unique because they don't have loops on the end, especially these ones, but they do have those holes. So you can actually use that to attach to something, or you can use this as the bottom of one of your pieces. So that's a really fun thing to try as well. Now, the magnetic clasps are what I'm going to be working with here today. So you can see that I've already attached one end. I'm going to show you how to attach the second end, but what I really want to show you is just how these are really nicely designed. They are definitely very strong magnetic clasps, so when you pull them apart, you can actually see that there's a little notch there for them to sit to. So these are going to be really nice and strong for your bead weaving, which makes them a great thing so that they don't fall apart. We don't want you to, lose any jewelry or anything like that. So it's a nice little reinforcement on some of these. Okay, so let's get into exactly how to attach this. So what I want to say is that this is done with Toho 80 seed beads here, and it is 6 beads across. So these are 80 Toho seed beads, 6 beads across. And what I've done is I've created a little pattern where there's a little focal, and then I've worked my way out so that I can tell exactly how long I want it to be. So if you're not really sure of how long you want a pattern to be, you can start in the center and work your way out. I do that a lot when I'm really just deciding on what to create with my pattern. Okay. So I have some extra seed beads here. So I finished the pattern evenly on both sides, and now I have these extras. Now the other thing I want to point out to you is make sure that when you're doing your magnetic clasp, that when you bring it together, so if it goes together this way, that they're going to fit. So I have to make sure that I keep it facing this way, not flipped over. Okay. So I have my thread coming out of one side here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that little metal on one side and just go through. So it's going to pull together and just sort of sit right there. Now, before I weave into that next bead, there is definitely room for me to add another bead. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pick up one of my teal beads. I'm just simply continuing my pattern, whatever your pattern may be, and making sure to pull that. So we don't want to pull out our bead weaving. There we go. So you can see that I've just added that one little bead there, and now I can add that, and now I go through that second bead there. Okay. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to pick up another and just continue on in my pattern. And this is all just having one side of that attached. And pick up another, oops, which should be a white bead for me here. Bring that through. And this is just continuing that peyote stitch. Now I'm coming out that last little bead there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, kind of flip it around there, go through that hole and come out to the side. And now what I can do is I can go backwards and go down through that hole and weave back through. So you just sort of attach it to the end just like so. Now, because I said these are really strong magnetic clasps, one thing I like to do is definitely go back through and reinforce all of that. So you can just see that I'm weaving back through, following that same pattern. I'm going to come up through, and you will have these little thread bridges on the outside, but that's okay. You're not really going to see them. I'm using that nice crystal fire line. And now I'm just kind of weaving in. I'm going to do this a couple of times. So as I'm doing this, I want to tell you about a couple of other things. So you can see that my project here is about 6 beads wide. However, you can also make it wider, and then you just sort of use these little end pieces as little, kind of treat them as beads. I have another video showing you how to attach these types like this type of ending to a peyote stitch. So you can see that as well. So it's a little bit different, but if you just sort of follow along, the beads will tell you where they want to be, where they want to sit, where it's comfortable for them. But this is the easiest way that I've been able to find to do this type of technique. And of course, try not to get your needle in there so it gets all magnetized, but what can you do? All right, so I'm going to go down through one more bead there. And very simply, same as we always do, I'm just going to tie this off by going underneath and catching a little thread bridge. I'm going to have to cheat this a little. Here we go. And I did a good job. My bead weaving is nice and tight. So going back down through, coming back up on the other side, pulling it through that loop to create a little knot in there. There we go. And now I'm just going to weave through a couple of little beads. And you can tie a couple knots, whatever is comfortable for you. Come in with my little scissors, snip that off. And that is it. That is how easy it is to do this type of bracelet. And again, you can see that it's nice and strong, and you have a beautiful little clasp there in the back, and you just finish it off using the same design that you were using. So that's it. That is how easy it is to use the Cymbal magnetic clasps with your bead weaving. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can get all of these supplies and see even more tutorial videos by heading over to Beadaholique.com.